We can't ignore what is happening in the country as it relates to companies throughout the country being assaulted by the threat of unionization.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Starbucks workers are just absolutely demolishing. They are owning the bosses. Just yesterday, they won 4 elections with a total of 4 no votes across all 4 locations. A total rout.
You love to see it,
Yeah,
folks.
we love to see it. Right before that, right before those elections, the Starbucks general counsel was let go, was fired, with an $8 million severance.
Good grief.
I
didn't know that.
$8 million severance. Man, these people failing up. I mean, could you, I'm not going to get $8 million if I screw up my job and totally fail at what I was supposed to do.
Hell, I'll never see $8 million, period. I'll never know what that looks like. I could live off that for the rest of my life and feel just fine. And to get that as a part of being fired because you sucked at your job so badly that you keep losing time after time. Oh, God. Yeah.
Man, it's crazy. The NLRB is coming through as well. There's been a lot of complaints about the NLRB from the Starbucks Workers Union, but I'm a bit like, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm a Fed, but I'm inclined to be a bit more sympathetic to the NLRB than maybe the Starbucks Workers United are. They're talking about how, the NLRB is aiding and abetting basically Starbucks anti-union campaign. But, we just talked to Joe last week about how the NLRB has been flat funded for years. It's been defunded.
It's got its hands tied in some important ways.
For a lot. And there was, oh man, I wish I just remembered this. But in fiscal year 2020, they reinstated 900 workers, I think. I think that's what it was, or maybe it was 600. And in fiscal year 2021, they had 6,000 workers reinstated. I saw that the other day in an article. I mean, that's a lot.
I see it a lot like I see the EEOC, Equal Employment Opportunity Commission.
Yeah,
that's where your civil rights complaints go.
Right.
And I think in both agencies there are some people who are decent, well-meaning people who are trying to do the right thing and are there for the purpose of the agency, which is to help ordinary people, but for various reasons related to their budgets and related to their organization's leaders and designs, the politicians who have boxed them in. For all these reasons and more, they're not going to be the agencies that we would like to see in terms of how fast they move or how resolute they are in standing on the side of us as normal, ordinary working people. Right. So,
but, you don't work for the NLRB, right? You don't apply for a job at the NLRB if you want to hamper union organizing.
Right.
I mean, that's just not you just wouldn't do that. Right.
And
so I'm inclined to give them the benefit of the doubt, give the workers, the field examiners, the attorneys at the NLRB. But it is important to recognize the limitations of the institution.
Which we've talked about a lot and how broken our labor law is. And that's another part of it is, these agencies can only operate within the confines they have. And until we change some of these backwards laws and until we add some of the protections that should have been included from the get-go, it'll be an uphill battle. Right. Yeah, but the and just like last week, the NLRB said that the firing of the Memphis 7, who we talked to, you can go back and watch our interview with them, they said that was illegal. Starbucks is, of course, going to challenge that, but that's a big deal. So Howard Schultz, as a result of Starbucks Workers United just absolutely dog-walking the bosses, he has taken over at Starbucks in an attempt to right this ship and to get the union out.
And in an address to stakeholders last week, he had this to say. Adam, let's go ahead and play that clip.
Now, here's where it gets a little sensitive, because I've been coached a little bit, but I do want to talk about something pretty serious. We can't ignore what is happening in the country as it relates to companies throughout the country being assaulted in many ways by the threat of unionization. Now,
the threat.
Yeah, being assaulted by the threat of unionization. And that actually ties really well with that's funny, because I just saw that tweet from Mel yesterday about union organizers being compared to jihadi insurgents in Iraq. But that pairs really nicely because here we've got this guy talking about being assaulted by workers wanting to have a say over their working conditions. Being assaulted. This guy has probably never been hit in his life. Talking about being assaulted by baristas wanting fair working conditions and wanting a say on the job. I mean, Jesus, man, that's crazy. And so Jordan Zacharin of More Perfect Union pointed out a bit of irony on Twitter. Let's put out that first tweet from Jordan, or the first half of that tweet. He said, Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz today said that the company was, quote, threatened by the assault of unionization. And now let's go to the second half of that tweet. An hour later, Starbucks fired union leader Layla Dalton for trying to protect herself from ongoing harassment by managers.
And she's just one of several of the activists and organizers who've been terminated by Starbucks. We've talked to some on this show. And these firings are continuing. And so, yeah, I do hope that they're reinstated, but it should never happen in the first place. And that's the kind of assault that really hurts people, to lose your job, to be fired in retaliation for speaking up. That hurts people on a very base level, material, physical level. It hits people on a mental and spiritual level as well.
Yeah. It's, I mean, how do you not see the irony of talking about language of violence? Language of violence. I'm being assaulted by my workers coming together and associating with one another, and then firing somebody.
You know, we were talking before the show about this, and it's funny how he even mentions, hey, I've been coached. We know for a fact he's spending millions to get advice from lawyers and union busters and consultants, PR people. He has all these, ostensibly smart, accomplished people that he's paying very well to tell him how to not say stupid shit. And yet he's so narcissistic, he can't help himself. He has to say stupid shit. That's kind of a boss in a nutshell.
You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.